Previously on the Frontier Farmer.
Because it is August, we have some harvests ready. But yes, once we are done with the canola harvest in Farmside Field, I think we'll be going to help out Richard with the potato harvest in West Creek. Yeah, no straw as byproduct, so just some good old canola. 13,992 litres. That's pretty good. Now, I think the destination for this canola is going to be straight into the windmill to make oil. Good morning, Richard. How are you doing? Yep, we've just finished starter up, and I think we still have the potato header attached because we did potatoes last time. So Richard first in West Creek North, and then I will follow on with harvesting West Creek South. Just shy of 50,000 litres of potatoes. I think next month we are going to have our sorghum harvest in Newfield ready to harvest. Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Frontier Farmer at the Dark Forest. It is now September, and we're starting off at the windmill this morning because we have the flour unloaded from the windmill that we created from our sorghum, which we put in here a couple months back. It still has some sorghum to process, and it is also making some oil out of our canola, which we harvested last month. Now there is still, of course, some sorghum and some canola to process, but we're going to take a bunch of flour over to the farm shop. So I've got the Iveco and I've loaded up some of the flour already. It's been a little while since we used the Iveco, but I've got the flatbed trailer, and on our way to the farm shop we need to grab some of the eggs and some of the honey, which I will do as we descend the hill. So it's deliveries first of all this morning, and then in Newfield our sorghum is ready to harvest. I think you can see it through the gaps in the trees there. Right, just approaching slowly so I don't run over any of the chickens, and the eggs around the back so we can get that loaded on. Well done, girls. A good haul this time around. Eggs strapped down so we can hop in. Probably best I reverse out of here and go on to the honey. Honey loaded on too. The bees have been very busy over the last couple of seasons, that's for sure. Got lots of jars of honey. Now, we are obviously in September, and we've got our last harvest to do for this crop season. And I've been chatting to Richard and a couple of our Lakepoint locals, and they've suggested it would be a nice idea to have a Halloween harvest festival. So after we've got the sorghum harvested, I think we are going to look to mulch Farmside Field and also Newfield. So we've got a nice clear space that we could play host to some cars, some caravans, some tents, and also have a bit of an area where we could set up a bit of a festival. And I think we are going to look at making some flyers, which I will get sent off later today. I think I'll run that down to the local post office so that can get sent off or faxed to some of the locals in other towns and settlements around the Dark Forest. But yeah, we've got a harvest to get done first, then mulching, but not before we've got this lovely delivery at the farm shop. So we will swing by, get the flour unloaded, There we go. Is quite the haul. There we go. Sold in a few sections there, but yeah, just shy of around 30,000 in all of that produce, which is pretty epic. And the Dark Forest bank account has done very well from all of our business opportunities from the production zone. Of course, all of the investment that went into that was from us. We sourced the materials and contributed towards the building of it. So although we have handed it to the Dark Forest, we have played a massive role in creating it and establishing it. So we have reaped the benefits, but really that money is the Dark Forest Community Fund. But yet, now that we've got all of that dropped off, I have remembered that I was planning to put some of the potatoes that we harvested last time at West Creek with the help of Richard into the compost bunker as well, because I was thinking we've got plenty of potatoes and the potatoes only really go to the pigs for pig food, so it makes sense to use a good portion to turn into compost. So let's drop off the flatbed trailer and we can just hop in the IFA. So we'll drop the Iveco around the back here. Thomas might use this for some of the wood deliveries. There we go, we've had some weeds crop up in Farmside Field. Mulching this will hopefully get rid of all of those. Right, to the IFA. Fire up the IFA. Always love hear that jumping into life. It is one of my most valued trucks on the homestead and the Dark Forest. Our first truck actually, and it has really served us well. Even though it's only small, it is quite plucky and mighty. Right, we need to just line up here and put away the little trough that drives the potatoes or the sugar beets into the cellar. There we go. Pop that away and close the hatch. And we want to... oh, we can't open that. We have to go around here and install the conveyor. There we go. Right. I think I just need to pull up slightly closer and then we can get some potatoes. Potatoes going in, and I think we'll fill up a whole trailer. We are full. 45,000 litres, and I can see the poor tyres suffering again. But let's loop this round and take the short journey to get it into the bunker. And what we'll do is we'll get that compacted and covered up so it can turn into compost over the winter period, which is hopefully going to help the orchard out in the new year. Right, let's get reversed in to our compost bunker where we have a good portion already dropped off last month. In it goes. There we go, all dropped off. So we should have a good around 50,000 litres in there. We'll come back and take a look at it. I was hoping that Richard might come and help us do the compacting whilst we are harvesting Newfield. We'll come back and see. But let's get this truck over to Newfield where our sorghum is ready to harvest, and we'll need this truck over here to deposit that lovely goldenly orange bronze sorghum into. Wow, look at that. It is a lovely sight indeed. I think what we'll do is pull up the truck and trailer over here. This is our usual spot. Oh, I can hear some motion. I can only imagine that Richard is here and is doing the compacting. Yes, there he is. Fantastic. Got his work gear on and he is doing the compacting. Fantastic. So I think we will leave him to his business and we'll go crack on with the sorghum harvest, and hopefully that's all nicely compacted once we return. Yeah, that should take no time at all. Into the harvester. Let's get the header raised up, and before I forget, let's unfold the harvester. That's one thing I always do. There we go. In fact, I think it might have already been unfolded or left unfolded from the last harvest. Now if I just creep my way through this gap here between the shed and the tree, we can get over to start our sorghum harvest. truck and trailer are in position. There's going to be no straw as byproduct, so we haven't got anything else we need to prepare for. So it's literally start the harvester and crack on with the harvest. It's going to be the last one of the season, and I'm curious to see how much sorghum we're going to bring in. And there we go. Sorghum all harvested. So we can fold in the pipe. And it'll be interesting to see how much we have harvested. But the sorghum field is turned from its orangey bronze colour to its dark brown colour, just because it's got the stalks left in there. And I do rather look forward to the satisfying job of coming to mulch all of those sorghum stalks. It's unlike any other crop, really. It leaves quite long stalks, as the sorghum grain is right at the tip, and the harvester always harvests the sorghum quite high, so it doesn't end up chopping much of the stalk. So yeah, it is quite an interesting crop to harvest. But I'm just taking the harvester round to the yard, because the plan is I'm going to give it a bit of a wash, as it is now the end of the harvesting season. So we'll get the hopper folded away, and I think I will be able to get away with putting the header back into the shed and onto the trailer, and then parking up the harvester next to it, so I don't need the tractor to come and pull out the header trailer. Right, here we go, next to the hose. Let's give it a bit of a wash, shall we? Better get right into the auger pipe and down into the wheel hubs, around the back of the header, and there we go. That is looking much cleaner. Now, because we've given it a wash, I just need to give it a little bit of a douse of oil in certain parts to make sure it's not going to seize up over winter. So let's get in here and give it a little bit of a squeeze of oil, and I'll give this section a bit of a oiling, as it's got some cranks and shafts and all sorts of stuff over here. Quick dash back to the shed, and we should just be able to go in this way, drop off the header onto the trailer, and then we can park up the harvester in the next bay along. There we go, header is in, so let's straighten up, and then you can shut her off. Right, that job has taken us up until lunchtime. I can see that Richard is still busy doing the compacting. Let's just get the potato cellar conveyor stashed away. There we go. And oh, the hatch is closed. That is very good news. Right, let's take a little look and see how Richard is getting on with the compacting. Looks like he has been busy. So, oh, 100%. there you go. You can stop right there, Richard. Thanks very much, Richard. That is much appreciated. We can get this covered up now, can't we? So this will nicely turn into compost over winter. And it's a good thing you've got the Kirovets out, as I'm going to need that to use for the mulching. Do you need a lift back to Lakepoint before I get started?
No.
Okay, well, enjoy your walk and we will see you later. Yeah, if you want to bring some of the materials for the Halloween Harvest Festival over later, that's fine. Rally some of the settlers and we can get to work getting things set up. See you later. Certainly was good of Richard to help us out with the compacting of the compost, and he is going to be back later. He's going to go and gather some of the materials we need for the Halloween Harvest Festival, and also he's going to seek some support in getting set up from some of our Lakepoint settlers, some of the usual suspects, so that is good. Look forward to seeing them later. But we need the mulcher, the Lizard Katrina, so we will get attached, and it's always a nice combo using these two together, the yellow beasts. Right, we will edge into, I think, Farmside Field first, and then we'll move into Newfield. I don't think we need to worry too much about Stone End Field, but if we get time, then maybe we'll try and do all three. Let's get unfolded. I think I can hear the hayloft busy hurtling away, distributing straw to the dovecote, and that's busy making manure. Right, there we go, nicely unfolded, so we can drop it down, and it's always quite a nice therapeutic job doing the mulching, as it just makes the field look nice and neat. So we'll get started with this and see you once we've got this all nicely chopped up. Finished off the last row, and raising up we can fold in, and we were doing some alternate rows at the end there, and it's always quite difficult to gauge when we are how wide to leave a space, and we left some kind of thin rows and then we had some wider rows which actually were the width of the mulcher. So yeah, it is always interesting when you're doing it manually and you're doing alternate rows, how much space to actually leave. But I think we did it on the right job there. Not too many additional rows, which is good. And two fields, Farmside and Newfield, nicely mulched. Mulcher dropped off, and I've noticed that the Kirovets needs a refuel, so we'll swing by the fuel tank, and I've completely forgotten, it has escaped my mind that we left the truck and trailer with all the sorghum in there. Ah, Barkamus is keeping an eye on the sheep for us. Hope you're not scaring them, Bartemus. Alright, let's do a refuel. There we go, we are topped up and brimmed, which is good. I think we can just drop the Kirovets back into the shed for now and run to the truck and trailer, see how much sorghum we have got and get that into the silo before it picks up too much moisture. Although it is dry today, it is a little bit cloudy, so yeah, we don't want that getting damp in the trailer. Yeah, I seem to have missed a little bit of straw, but never mind, that should be fine. Ooh, 29,578 litres, just shy of 30,000. That is pretty good. Happy with that haul. And this is going to nicely replenish what we had taken from the silo into the windmill to make sorghum flour. In fact, it is doubling the amount that we put into the windmill, which is good. And this is going to go a long way for more chicken feed, more horse feed, and for making some more flour if we so choose to. Now, I didn't end up mulching Stone Enfield because we don't really need to do that. It's not an urgent job. The more pressing fields to mulch were Farmside and Newfield, so we had a good amount of space for the Halloween Harvest Festival. Alright, let's pull around to the silo. We can get the sorghum dropped off, and then we can park up the truck and trailer. And I'm hoping that we're going to see Richard and some of our settlers fairly soon with some materials for said Harvest Festival. And also I think we were looking to make a poster so we could get some of our tractor run friends in the nearby towns and villages to come and visit us once again. That will be nice. Alright, IFA parked away, and I'm waiting for Richard to come over with the truck of goods. Oh, here's Richard, but not with the truck of goods. He has got the milk truck, so I think, yeah, he's come to pick up some of the milk to take to the dairy. That's fair enough, because I think we have got a good amount of milk the cows have produced over the last couple of months, and that is ready to go to the dairy to help towards butter, cheese and chocolate. But I'm sure he will return with the truck with things and materials we need for the Halloween Harvest Festival. Now, I think the plan is that these two fields, Farmside Field and Newfield, we're going to use as a bit of an area and space for our visitors to use. As mentioned, some of our tractor run friends are going to pay a visit, and they'll need somewhere to park up and stay, and then we'll need a little bit of space for some festivities and some fun. So yeah, I don't know which field to use for which purpose, but maybe Richard and some of our Lakepoint friends can tell us what is best to do in that regard. Oh, I see Richard heading off back to the dairy. Hopefully he comes back with the truck. Hello everyone. Richard did say that you were coming over to help set up for the Halloween Harvest Festival. And oh, I think I can see Richard coming over the bridge behind us with a truckload of materials. That is good. Good job, Richard. Thanks for bringing everything over so we can crack on building some decorations, some stalls and some amenities for our visitors who are going to be coming for the Halloween Harvest Festival. Right, I think one of you has a poster for me to take over to the depot so we can get that sent out to the local towns and villages. Thank you very much. Oh, that poster looks good. We'll get them to print it a fair few times and get it sent around. Okay, I'll leave you guys to it, and I'm going to jump in the pickup and go deliver this poster. Hop in the trusty pickup and we'll get on our way to safely deliver these posters. I hope we get a good turnout to the Halloween Harvest Festival. Will be nice to see some of our old friends who came on the previous tractor run, and potentially some new friends as well. We will have to see what we have got in store. And as promised, it has been a busy day. We had some deliveries to get our flour, honey, eggs over to the farm shop. Got the potatoes in and thankfully compacted thanks to Richard's help. And that's now fermenting, or whatever it is doing, turning into compost. And then we got the sorghum all harvested, and then 2 fields mulched to clear the way for the Halloween Harvest Festival. Well, I hope everything is going to go well. Why do I get the feeling I'm being followed?